Hi everyone, we've got an extra little video just going out today. It's for two reasons. First of all, I'd like to give an update on Erin's lessons. Erin's lessons have obviously finished for me. She is still continuing lessons down in Southampton. Just a little further update, she has passed her theory test and she's looking to book her practical test. What I'm going to try and do, I have discussed this with Erin, that I am going to try and get down to Southampton at the point of her test, as long as it's not going to cause her any extra pressure. I'm going to have to manage that one between myself and Erin. Let's try and find out how she's feeling about it. But I am going to try and get down there for test day, as long as it's not going to be to the detriment of Erin on her test. So that's Erin's update. The other reason for this little impromptu video is to go over a point that came up on my video this week. The analysis video with the tractor, and it was called Inches from Death. So if you haven't checked that out, go and have a little look at that first, so you'll know what I'm talking about. The bit that I'm wanting to talk about is nothing to do with Nathan the cammer. Like I said on the original clip, he was very brave for sending this in. He was massively to blame for this incident. How he drove, the decisions that he made weren't good whatsoever, and I alluded to that in the video and even gave an example of how I made a similar mistake when I was a young lad before I was a driving instructor. So Nathan knows full well the part that he played in that, but there's been a few people who have said about me apportioning blame to the tractor, and people don't get it. Now, I don't like using that word blame. I don't blame, but there are many things that the tractor driver could have done better to stop this incident happening, and this is what I'd like to go over in today's video. So first things first, would that accident have happened if I was driving the tractor? No, it wouldn't have. There's no in the world that me being in charge of the tractor and having the ability to change the decisions of what was going on, or of what I was doing to what was going on, there's no in the world that that accident would have happened. And let me explain. As you're coming up to do a right turn, and I even said about this in the video that one of my pupils, an early stage learner, Beth, was able to keep an eye on what was happening behind, that gives you the ability to decide whether to turn or not. So if I was the driver of that tractor and I was doing a right turn, especially with my understanding of how people are gonna want to push past all the time because I'm a slow tractor, I would be constantly watching for this particular incident. As I was coming up to do the right turn in the tractor, I would know exactly where I was going, and I would be assessing the traffic ahead and behind and all around all the time. So on approach, it's a slight right hand bend, and you can just about make out the right hand mirror on the tractor. These side mirrors are generally curved glass, they're convex glass, so they give a wider angle. With the radius of that corner, I think the tractor can see that distance. I just don't actually think that he was watching. And there's a simple reason for this as well. As Nathan goes to do the actual overtake and move out, the tractor driver then commits to do the right turn and then changes his mind. And it's at that point that tells me the tractor driver wasn't watching properly on the approach. So if I was doing that, I would see the BMW driver catching really quickly, coming up behind, and I would be constantly watching and seeing that he's not changing speed much. And if he's not changing speed much, it's an easy one. He's probably going to overtake. So when people say that the tractor had priority and he did nothing wrong, you're the type of people who honestly are going to make situations worse. You have to, if you're driving defensively, think and protect other people. And it's this selfishness why I'm having a little bit of a rant today, because it's this selfishness which could lead to someone dying. Now, I totally get that if Nathan hadn't driven like an absolute arse, that situation wouldn't have happened in the first place. Totally get it and totally agree. And Nathan, I'm sure, he's going to hold his hands up and say, yeah, that's the case. But if the tractor driver had done things differently, that accident wouldn't have happened as well. And this is the part that people don't get. There have been plenty of comments saying, why are you blaming the tractor driver? And it's not really blaming, but there's always things that you could do better. So going back to the situation, the tractor driver coming up, he can see that he's doing a right turn. He sees the car overtake or going to overtake and catch him really quickly. What should he have done? Well, just not started the turn. Should wait, should slow it down. There's nothing wrong with slowing down and even stopping before you then commit to doing the turn. It's called a secondary mirror check, I call it. So you check on the approach, and this is the approach in its most basic terms. You check on the approach to time your signal correctly, and this is another thing that people don't seem to get. They feel as though as long as they check and put the signal on, they're done. Honestly, I've been going on about this for absolute ages, for years, and people still go, it doesn't matter, I'd put a signal on all the time. That shows you are not timing your signal properly. If you're approaching and there's a car coming up really quickly behind, you need to tell them earlier. You need to press your brakes earlier as a warning, and then see how they're reacting, and that determines your course of action, and that's driving defensively. If the tractor then makes its turn and someone's overtaken, there's a big accident. Someone could die, especially with the tractor towing the big plough. Oh, it's horrible, okay? And it doesn't matter what car you're driving. Anyone can overtake whatever car that you do drive. It's irrelevant. People can still act an absolute arse, even if they're driving the smallest of cars. So when people say typical BMW driver, I sort of get where they're coming from, because there can be an arrogance when people do buy certain makes and models of cars. They think that they've made it. Totally get that, but it can happen to anyone. But the key with my rant is to say, if you are one of those people who just says the tractor had priority and he's okay to make that turn, you are ridiculous, because someone could die. You're in charge of that vehicle, and if there's anything that you can do that stops that accident and collision and possible death, surely you do it. Surely you don't take the line of, well, Nathan shouldn't have overtaken. Nathan was crossing the white line. Yes, he was. But you've got everything to do in your powers to stop that collision from happening. So, if you're one of those people, change your mindset. Right of way doesn't mean that you continue. Right of way just is a way of saying that's what should happen. Doesn't mean that you've got the God-given right to make that turn whatever. And it's saddening for me that there's so many people in the comments who still have that frame of mind. My viewers and my subscribers and the people who watch my videos are on a different level compared to most other dashcam channels. Go and have a look. Go and have a look at the comments in my videos and the threads in my videos compared to different dashcam channels. Honestly, it's night and day. But a few of those people who do watch them, I'm sure, spill over into mine. And they're not educated enough yet to understand these things. So this is my rant. I'm trying to get out to those few people who still have that frame of mind. That right of way that you think that you have doesn't mean that you can go. Just keep that in mind. Sorry for my rant this morning. I'm a few days ahead of when this is going to go out. I'm probably going to stick this this little video out on Sunday. So thanks a lot for watching. Please don't think that I'm pointing a finger at any single one of my viewers and the people who comment. No. But please listen to that message. It's a real important one. Do what you can to stop accidents happening and collisions happening and incidents happening, because one day you may just stop someone dying. Thanks a lot for watching. See you all soon.